Pretty Woman, released in 1990, which is, by the way, 1 year before I was born, but I digress, was directed by Gary Marshall. Pretty Woman pretty much jump-started Julia Roberts' career. The #1 romantic comedy at the box office, ticket-wise anyway, and it's pretty much the template to any rom-com ever. This movie has a very interesting history. History. Everyone and their mom has seen it at least once or at least knows the plot. For those of you who have been living underground these past 3 decades, here's the plot. A hooker living on Hollywood Boulevard named Vivian, played by Roberts, meets this man named No, not yet! Edward, who is played by Richard Gere. He's super rich, but has a problem maintaining a relationship of some sort. His dilemma? Well, he was going to have his girlfriend come over because, I guess they were a couple, but this girlfriend is fed up with his business-first attitude and they break up via the phone in the first 10 minutes of this movie. Until after that, Edward finds Vivian walking around Hollywood Boulevard. She helps him get to his hotel, and he decides, hey, I'll pay you $3,000 so you can be my girlfriend for the week. And she's like, okay. But, Vivian sticks out like a sore thumb. She's quirky and trashy to the upper class of Los Angeles and the business world in general. So I guess she kind of gets a bit of a makeover, but not really. It's really just him handing her the credit card to go on a shopping spree and dress classy, I guess. Because, the getup she was wearing before, just screams hooker. So, yeah, they spend time together, and they fight, and they make up, and they fight again, and eventually they fuck, and his lawyer tries to rape her, and they fight again, they mope, and then at the end they realize, wait, we're in love with each other, and so that infamous ending happens. Yeah, I'll get to that ending in a bit. But first, let's talk about the content. Okay, we've talked about the content, the plot-wise anyways, but I'm talking about the MPAA rating. This movie was rated R. Really? This movie was rated R. This movie was rated R. Okay, so I guess because you mentioned prostitutes, that gives you an automatic R rating, because that is not child-friendly, and it's only for grown-ups. I remember the VHS copy my uncle had lying around when I would go visit his house, and I remember them telling me, yeah, this is a grown-up movie, children can't really see this, and even my, little cousin, yeah, it has, naked people in it. And yeah, as naked, they get naked, but honestly, it's PG-13 level sex. No boobs, no butt, no full frontal nudity, obviously, because that would get an NC-17 rating. I mean, you see her friend at the beginning, and her too, trying to pick up men, and also dead hooker in the first 10-20 minutes. Mention of pimps. Please, really? This is graphic? I've seen more graphic content on Special Victims Unit, and that's on primetime TV. Yeah. Special Victims Unit is more graphic than this. Then again, Special Victims Unit is more realistic, I guess. To us, at least television friendly. Sort of. Yeah. Okay, but seriously though, Taxi Driver had a child prostitute, and that movie deserved the R rating, but more so for the last scene. Yet, this movie gets an R rating, but Casino Royale has a PG-13 rating, even though it had this scene. So yeah, this movie was considered scandalous at the time, to say the least. And several actors, but especially the actresses that were auditioning for this movie, turned down the part. Let's see, I have a list here of the people that were trying out for the two main roles, specifically Edward and Vivian. Let's start off with the actors who tried out for Edward. So we got Burt Reynolds tried out and turned down, Christopher Reeve, Denzel Washington, Daniel Day-Lewis, Al Pacino, Albert Brooks, Sylvester Stallone of all people, Christopher Lambert, and Dennis Quaid. And there's like a few more, but when we get to Vivian's list, you'll see. Imagine if Daniel Day-Lewis was in this role, though. He takes his roles pretty seriously. Well, that's an understatement in itself. Fun fact, apparently Burt Reynolds was recently, I mean 2 years ago, interviewed by Piers Morgan, and yeah.
You turned down bed scenes with Julia Roberts, Burt?
I saw that the other night, and I thought to myself, damn, I wish I'd...
Now, as for the role of Vivian, I'm gonna have to read this out. Okay, I have my laptop in front of me, and here we go. Meg Ryan, Kim Basinger, Kathleen Turner, Deborah Winger, Gina Davis, Carrie Fisher, Bo Derek, Kelly McGillis, Melanie Griffith, Sharon Stone, Michelle Pfeiffer, Madonna, Jamie Lee Curtis, Emma Thompson, Rosanna Arquette, Heather Locklear, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Joan Cusack, Phoebe Cates, Elizabeth Shue, Tatum O'Neal, Bridget Fonda, Lori Loughlin, Diane Lane, Justine Bateman, Brooke Shields, Winona Ryder, Drew Barrymore, Jodie Foster, Uma Thurman, Jennifer Connelly, Daryl Hannah, Molly Ringwald, and, of all people, Sarah Jessica Parker. Really, woman. Since, here's a fun fact. Touchstone is part of the Disney company. They originally really wanted Meg Ryan, who was the biggest draw at the time, and we'll get to sort of why. And they weren't convinced by Julia Roberts. She was still relatively unknown. She had a few roles, but not a breakout role. Julia Roberts did get the role, obviously, and became a household name pretty much overnight, and with that earned her her first Oscar nomination. But wait a second. Hey, Midnight Cowboy came out in 1969, and that was about a male prostitute. I mean, really, they thought this script was too risque? Really? Midnight Cowboy had more stuff. I mean, yeah, he didn't have full frontal male nudity, but that was more risque than this. Wait, hold on a second. I'm checking up here, and it says here that Pretty Woman was originally supposed to be a dark film. Yeah, now we're getting into some deep stuff here. Originally, Pretty Woman was supposed to be a cautionary tale of prostitution and drug addiction and all that fun stuff that we think of, but went through several revisions to get to the finished film everyone knows today. You know. Okay, I'm not gonna act like this can be shown to children, like I said, but I wouldn't be surprised if people have. But see, the thing about this movie is it does have its dark moments. The first half hour of this movie has Vivian see a crime scene on Hollywood Boulevard, and her roommate, who is also a hooker, has a drug problem. In early scripts, Vivian was also supposed to be a crack addict. They even make a joke about this. Oh, and even her backstory is pretty dark. Okay, not that dark, but still, listen to what she has to say.
When I was a little girl, My mama used to lock me in the attic when I was bad, which was pretty often.
So yeah, they did leave some dark stuff in this, but it's all evened out by clothes, polo, prince, rich people, and opera. Because nothing says light humor like opera. The irony of that saying, kind of, a little bit. No, that's pretty fucking ironic, I think. You see, the opera they see when Edward takes Vivian to San Francisco is called La Traviata by Verdi. Take a wild guess what this opera's about. So, for you uncultured swines, it's about a rich man falling in love with a courtesan. What is a courtesan? Let's pull up the dictionary definition. Yeah. Now here's a hint, even if you're not too into operas. Operas generally don't have the happiest of endings. Unless if they're labeled as a comedy from the get-go, but this is not. La Traviata is not a comedy. So yeah. This film has a shit ton of filler. I mean, yeah, Gere and Roberts do alright in their roles. Also, Gere's lawyer friend is played by Jason Alexander. Yeah, he's a total creep in this. Now, for that ending and overall theme of that film. Yeah, this film has a theme, apparently. Huh. First, let's start with that theme. Yeah. So the film begins with this guy saying,
"Welcome to Hollywood. Everybody comes to Hollywood, got a dream. What's your dream? Welcome to Hollywood. What's your dream? Everybody comes here. This is Hollywood, the land of dreams. Some dreams come true, some don't. But keep on dreaming."
And yeah, that film bookends
Always
this
time to dream.
with that
So
line as
keep
well.
on dreaming.
Now, when Vivian finally confesses her love to Edward, he offers her to get an apartment so he can see her the next time he comes to LA, just as, you know, be like, "Hey, I'm in town. Let me come see you." But Vivian's like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. Oh yeah, and Edward is, I guess, yeah, I mean, the main plot is this story between them, but I guess the other subplot is Edward wants to close a deal with the business. He bought a business, I guess, but he ends up not because Vivian, because he finally found true love, I guess. And Vivian leaves, and of course, this is the moping thing. And this is the part where Vivian's, you know, like, you know what? I'm tired of this lifestyle. I'm gonna go to San Francisco and get my GED. And then here comes the ending everyone and their mom can recite. God, this ending is so unknown. Look, he came to save her. Yeah, so, okay. About this ending. Originally, even when they revised it to the movie we knew today, everything was good up until the ending. Or rather, everything was the same up until this ending. The original ending had them have Edward throw Vivian out of a car and be like, "I'm never gonna see you again." And bye. The end. Sad story. But realistic considering class differences and all the stuff they've been to, and I'm sorry, my hair. Yeah, all that fun stuff. It was a gritty ending. But, you know, they have these things called test audiences. And what they do is they show the movie before it's completed, or mostly complete, and they ask people what they thought about it. And people weren't happy with this ending. They were like, "No, we don't like this ending." So they tried this ending that we all know today. And they were like, "Yeah, this ending's perfect." And so we get this On the nose metaphor. Happy ending. I guess because people want escapism. I honestly really wonder what happened post Pretty Woman. Like what really happened after this happy ending, apparently. Did Vivian ever go get her GED? Or was she just like, nah, I changed him. I'm the manic pixie dream girl. I changed him. I saved his life. No need to change him more. Or something like that. But yeah, legacy this movie has left on film history is actually substantial. As I stated earlier, this was the movie that is the working template that people try to rip off of when they make a rom-com. And many credit this movie along with the, in my opinion, much superior When Harry Met Sally. They're both credited with reviving the romantic comedy, as romantic comedies pre-late 80s, early 90s weren't as prevalent. I mean, sure, there were probably some here and there, but this was the one that was like, you know, we can make movies for women, but I've seen men that like this. I mean, I told you, my uncle likes this movie. He has the VHS copy. They're vastly different. I mean, I'd say When Harry Met Sally is more realistic. I mean, not like 12 Years a Slave or anything, but it's definitely more down to earth, or what is more likely to happen. I can't say too much about When Harry Met Sally because, well, another reviewer in this interwebs that we have already talked about it a great deal. I highly recommend everyone check out the Nostalgia Chick review of When Harry Met Sally versus Sleepless in Seattle, because I think she sums it up very good, and it's a better comparison with those two, although you can always compare When Harry Met Sally and this because they are both credited for the rom-com revival. But yeah, Pretty Woman is pretty much a modern fairy tale, to say the least. It's for the person who is not cynical and who looks through the world with rose-colored glasses, which is not me. I'm that asshole. Says the girl who watches Sailor Moon in her spare time. But yeah, I can't stand Julia Roberts generally, but if you like her, good for you. I haven't seen her in Brockovich. Maybe I should get her on that. But yeah, I would have liked the original ending. As I said, it started fairly dark. Could have even gone darker. But we got this. And what we got is loved by so many people. Along with Gary Marshall pretty much using this template for his later movies. I feel like he's the Michael Bay of rom-coms. I actually blame this movie for a lot of the abysmal rom-coms that exist today. I even came up with a term for movies that start off alright, but they end happy for that no reason. Like this. This shouldn't... Yeah. I call it Pretty Woman Syndrome, or PWS. Honestly, there are many movies out there that have PWS, and maybe I'll talk about them in a future date, especially this one movie I have in particular, but that'll be later down the line. Let's see if you can guess it, because it's a fairly recent one. But if you like this movie's escapism, or just generally like it, good for you! I like my rom-coms more... How do you say it? Grounded? Down to earth? With sad endings? I don't know what's the right word, but it's not this.